want me to start from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, there's Nicole.
Hi.
She just went down to Peru for ayahuasca. She's going to tell us all about it. Go.
So at this particular place, ceremony's done Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. You have off on Wednesdays. Every morning after is a group share. That's mandatory. You have to be part of that. So you have breakfast and lunch and no dinner on ceremony days. You stop eating by 3, you stop drinking by 5. And then 8 o'clock is ceremony, and our ceremonies ran until about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So in where I was, there's a ceremony room. It's called the Maloca. So it's this round built building that has this huge roof that comes up like this. It's all cylindrical and it's all bamboo and it has a thatched roof on it. So,
Classic hippie.
Yeah, so the whole place is like that. And it's all up on stilts. But I went during the dry season, so we didn't have to worry about water. But anyway, so we had like a group of 23 or 24 people. So you get called up 2 by 2, and the shamans are in the middle. So, well, first when you come in, then the shamans enter. Everything is blessed. The space is blessed, and then you individually are blessed. The facilitators are doubly blessed, and then the shamans bless the ayahuasca, and then they set up, and then you get called up 2 by 2, and you get your dose that is in milliliters. And the first night you get what they tell you, and then as the week goes on and you group share and you talk with the shamans, you can adjust it up or down if you feel like you're not getting enough. Or so you take your first dose, you go back to your mat, you sit straight up because you want the medicine to work. You don't want to go down on your side like this because it's a position of submission, and you don't want to submit to the medicine. That's telling her that that's not good. You don't want to, and it's a her. So ayahuasca is referred to as mother, the mother, okay. Mother medicine, Mama Aya, and it's also called medicine. They never, at least in my first week, nobody ever referred to it as being high or tripping. That's very disrespectful. It's a sacred plant. It is sacred to these people. It's sacred to the earth. It's just, you treat it with respect and it will treat you with respect. Mm-hmm. If you're not nice to her, she will not be nice to you, I can promise you. So you take your dose, you go back and sit down, and you wait for the effects to start. And everybody's experience is different. Everybody's. Some people get wild purging. I did. I was in pure purge for the whole week. I got my first night. I was shot out of a cannon, and I got all sorts of visuals, and it was kind of like Mama Aya said, I'm going to show you behind the curtain now because that's what you want. And she pulled the curtain back and she went, do you see? And I saw a bunch of stuff. And then she closed the curtain and she said, put your fucking seatbelt on because now we're going to heal. And it was pure purge. And purging, everybody thinks like you throw up, but it's not. You can throw up. You can energetically throw up, which is you're heaving. I mean, you feel it in your stomach and you're heaving, but you're not. There's no liquid or food coming out. It's just generations and generations and generations of trauma, ancestral shit. I mean, I had eons. I think I go back very, very far. Yawning is a purge. And when I tell you, I did not know that it was physically possible for my mouth to open that wide.
Wow.
Shaking, vibrating from the inside out is a purge. Sweating, freezing, crying, physically crying. I didn't have any sobbing, but I had one night where tears were pouring out of my eyes. My nose was stuffed, but there was no sadness accompanied with it. There was no it was just water and
pure
stat.
Release.
Yeah, pure release, pure. And then, it's funny, I didn't realize until I came home that first week for me, so my senses went bananas. My sense of smell, sight, hearing, everything was off the charts. My energetic senses were off the charts, like people being close to me, I could feel everything. It was so unbearably painful. Things that smelled good were and I thought to myself, oh my God, this is what babies feel like. Imagine being, and that's, I also realized within my first 2 days of being there that I have not felt anything in decades. I mean, I have been walking, get up, make breakfast, take the kids to school, pick them up from school, like I've been surviving and I didn't even know.
I know what you mean about coming back, because I came back from Costa Rica, and you're there in the rainforest and there's no cars and you're surrounded by severe, just amazing nature, and like the rainforest energy is absolutely incredible, and the ocean, and you get back, and I remember my first day back and all the cars and all the pavement and and even the colors, everything just didn't look. I mean, over there, they chop a branch, stick it in the ground, and that's your fence, because it will grow back into a tree, and you can just run your fence. Like, everything isn't about killing and death and murder. And I remember seeing all the cars thinking, oh my God, we're half dead over here. We walk half dead. We walk this stressed out up to here and think that's normal. And, you have to die down to be in this culture. And, and then it faded after a while, but it was such a strong thing. I totally get it. Yeah. So that's why we're going to purchase our rainforest and go live there.
Yes.
Someday.
Go live in the Amazon.
Or have, access, just go. And anyway, so finish. This is about you.
Okay.
It's all about me. Heck yeah.
So, yeah.
Clear purge.
Yeah. So my
Pure
senses
purge.
were on total overload. Like it was that first week, they had to drop my dose down. Like I was taking 10 to 15 milliliters where other people were taking like 60 to 100. And then there's this other stuff called Sapo, or some people call it bufo. It's the Sonoran desert toad. So this toad lives 9 months out of the year under the ground, and then it comes up just to mate and eat. So when it's sourced ethically, tribal elders go out and they grab the toad when it's out at its normal time, and they scoop it up and they squeeze these little glands on its back, and it secretes this venom, and they put it on this glass plate, and then they put it out in the sun and it dries, and then they scrape this stuff off, and they put it into doses. And then so when you do it, they take this powder and they put it in this glass beaker that has like a rubber stopper and a hose on top. And then you need a torch. You can't do it with a lighter. So the administrator, in this particular case, Jose, the owner, he is the Sapo. They call him the Sapo Maestro. He's the Sapo King. It's his favorite medicine. So he lights it and it turns into this milky, smoky substance. And then he like unfurls the stopper, and you're sitting there and everything's all set up. You have a facilitator here, you have him here, and you have this mat and then these pillows here, because when you go back like this, like you're out. So he opens it up and he puts it in your mouth, and he goes, okay, sip, 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 sip. Okay, stop, sip. Okay, more. And there's Jose going, more, come on, more.
Wow.
And you go, and you keep it in your lungs as long as possible. And it's like going under anesthesia. Like, when you count backwards, you're like 1, 2. Yeah, it's like that. So my first Sapo experience, so we get the whole spiel, and it's called the Universal Orgasm. So this is like some magical shit happens during the Sapo experience. So Jose is like, nobody really throws up. It's not like ayahuasca. Like ayahuasca is more purgy like that. And ayahuasca also, like, you also kind of have a choice. Like, you can say, I don't like where this is going. And she's like, okay, let's go here. Whereas Sapo is like, no, you're done. You're just going. So I went down. The only thing I remember is I know I threw up. I went, and this is my perspective of what happened. I went into the waiting room. I did not pass over. I did not pass go. I did not collect $200. I went to the waiting room. Everything was white, and all that was there was thought. There was no body. There was no nothing. And it was just, my voice kept saying, surrender, surrender. You have to surrender. You have to surrender. So when I came out of it, I was super, super sick. I went to my room. I went to sleep for a couple hours. And when I came out, 2 of my friends, this guy Oscar and this guy Sean, were walking towards me. And they were like, Oscar had this look of pure terror on his face. Pure terror. And he walked up to me and went, I am so sorry. And I went, I just threw up. I'm okay. And then Sean came up with the same look, and he was like, I'm really sorry, Nicole. And I'm like, okay, just threw up. So I go on my merry way. I go down to the dining room, and there's this girl, Lupe, who just calls it as it is. And I walk in, and she goes, yo, girl. And I went, what the fuck happened? She goes, first of all, you went down and you were screaming. You were saying, I want to let go. I can't let go. I can't do this. I want to let go. I can't surrender.
Oh my goodness.
And then she goes, now, so when you're put under Sapo, there's 4 people who go down. 2 people go down with a facilitator each, and then a person administering. And once those people are good, they don't need anything, they move on to the other 2. So there's 4 people down at a time. I was the 3rd person to go down. So Adina comes walking in and she starts telling me her take on her perspective of my story. And by the way, when you go under Sapo, you're down from anywhere from 5 minutes to maybe an hour, like 5 minutes to 45 minutes. I was down for 2.5 hours.
Oh, shit.
So while everybody was going through their stuff, I was out. So some of my friends went to Jose and they were like, they thought I was in a coma. They were like, is she gonna be okay? And Jose's like, and he's the best. He's like, she's fine. She's just resting. She just needs to rest now. But I purged, like I said,
you had a lot of work to do.
I have, that's why I have to go back. And I knew, so I wanted to
How many times can they let you back in a year?
I can go back as many times as I want.
So there's no like guidance or...
No. It's when the medicine calls you, you know. So I believe that the medicine has been talking to me since last summer. My diet changed. Everything changed for me last summer, and it was the medicine calling me. And I believe, and then I was ready, and then I went, and when I went, I wanted to book for 2 weeks, but I didn't. The old Nicole was like, no, I can't do that to Nick. It's too much on him for the kids, and I can't count on my mom, and I have all the animals. So after my first ceremony that Tuesday morning, I went to the owner and I said, what do you do with people if they need to stay another week? And he's like, let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Friday morning, I went to talk to him about adjusting my dose for Sapo because I wanted to do it again. Before I could even open my mouth, I sat down and he went, I made room for you. You're staying.
Oh, sweet.
And I said, okay. So me and my bunkmate Lupe ended up staying an extra week. That's why I stayed. Because I was not done after a week. Like I had just skimmed the surface. So needless to say, I didn't get a whole bunch of like wisdom. I'm getting it more now, but I purged for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so how do you wrap this up? How do you feel now for the people?
I feel awesome.
What would you tell somebody who's ever considered this?
So I'm biased. I think everybody should do it, but I do understand after meeting different people that it's not for everybody. There's one guy who came, did it one night, had a lovely experience, but was like, I don't need to do the medicine. But he went to every ceremony and he still got what he needed out of it, which is also interesting because back in the day in the Shipibo tribe, which is the tribe that the shamans that we worked with, they used to take the medicine and everybody else got healing through them. It wasn't, you didn't actually take the medicine. It was just the shamans that took the medicine. This is kind of like a recent thing where everybody takes the medicine. But I will tell you, do not do it in America. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how great. Do not do ayahuasca in America. Find a place that's reputable. Do not do it with more than 20 to 25 people. If there's a place hosting 80 to 100 people, fucking run.
It's a money change.
Don't do it with a shaman who's, this is the way we do it, and we're strict, and we're fucking run. Justina is 4 foot nothing. She's the head. She is the maestra. She's been doing this for 45 years. When it's time for business, it's time for business, but even during ceremony, you'll hear her giggling. She's the most childlike person I've ever met in my life. Like when you see her walking around, she's just walking like, she's like a kid. She'll kick a rock, but the way she does it is so childlike. Like she's incredible, but she's the most powerful woman I've ever met in my life. I saw her do some shit there. I saw her pull things out of people that, like stuff you see in the movies that you think is like acted out. No, there were things that I knew were real, but actually got the chance to see. Should
we revisit when we're done with this one? You can tell us that story sometime.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
everybody should go and try it, and even if you don't like the ayahuasca, stay and do the ceremonies because you'll still get healing.
Oh, should we link the thing here or just
Arcana?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Say it.
So Arcana Spiritual Center is where I went. This is where I think, no offense to anybody else, but
in Peru.
He's got 3 spots, one in the Amazon, one in the Sacred Valley, and one in Mexico. He's looking for property in Costa Rica right now to open a 4th. I forget what Jose's last name is, but him.
You should find out because I'll send him the property in Costa Rica. You probably love it. Arcana.
Arkana.
Okay.
Arkana. And it means something. So your Arcana is what you get at the end. I'm going to botch it up, so I'm not going to say what it means, but you should look up what Arcana means because it ties into the end of your journey.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.